Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today, I'm joined by my business partner, John. How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm chilling. By the way, if you guys don't know, John P on YouTube, go subscribe.
That would be awesome.
Today, we gotta talk about something that's on everybody's mind.
Women?
Well, we'll talk about that off camera.
All right.
Baselworld is happening.
Basil.
And yeah, a lot of brands are releasing watches, but Rolex and Tudor.
Oh my gosh.
We'll talk about Patek and the rest on another video, but today we need to talk about Rolex and Tudor. But of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check.
Oh wow.
What are you wearing, brother?
Actually, this one's in the shop. I forgot I was wearing this. I've been getting roasted for not wearing a watch. I just forget because we're always wearing stuff.
I always take watches off when I get to the office anyway. What are you wearing?
A Langanzona. What is this? The Saxo Man?
It's the Lange-Matic Saxo Mat with the micro rotor.
And you pull up the crown and it stops. What does it do again?
The second snap back to zero, which is actually super complicated. It helps you coordinate.
At least check it out at delraywatch.com if you haven't seen this. It really is a highly complicated watch.
I really, really like that. And I'm wearing something much simpler. It is my Ming 1701 discontinued limited edition. I love this watch. I know it's a tad small on me, but screw you guys. It's awesome.
It's a cool watch.
And of course, shout out to delraywatch.com. Bunch of new watches. The new Lange-Matic we got in stock. A blue dial Polar Explorer 2, which was on hold, is back up for sale at like a record.
You're giving that away.
Yeah, record-breaking price. I mean, yeah, go check it out, okay? And go check out the Tangomat GMT, which is also really priced to move. Super cool. But yes, back to the meat and potatoes. Basel. 2019. I almost think it would have been better for Rolex and Tudor to stay home this year. What do you think?
And have a little party with the Omega executives that just took their Basel fund and blew it on who knows what, champagne and ladies of the night.
Yeah, it's what Geneva's known for. But why don't we start with Rolex, okay?
Why don't we start with Rolex?
So let's start by mentioning what they released. And I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown. So they released a 42mm Yacht Master in solid white gold on an Oyster Flex bracelet.
Yeah, by the way, I leaked all these yesterday.
It's true. John did leak them.
That's crazy. What do you think about that?
I think this is probably the coolest release they did. I don't think it's going to be a mover. I like it because it's different. 42, Oyster Flex. First time Yacht Master is in white gold, but let's be honest, white gold pieces, they're not sellers. I mean, it's cool to have in the collection. I like that Rolex did it, but it's not exactly going to be like the new hot piece, is it?
I don't think they'll even make that many because they know.
Yeah, they absolutely know.
They know. They're Rolex. Like, they know.
And then here's the big one, okay? They took the GMT line. They discontinued everything on Oyster.
By the way, we called that 2 weeks ago. We called the Oyster Flex on the Yacht Master. Remember?
Well, yeah, but I was calling it in stainless steel.
Oh, okay.
So they discontinued every GMT Master on an Oyster bracelet, and they completely discontinued the black dial, black bezel, which no one saw coming. And now we still have a Batman, by the way, not eating any shoes on YouTube. I told you it wasn't being discontinued. They have the Batman and the Pepsi, but they're only available on Jubilee. So my point is, you can't buy an Oyster bracelet GMT.
You just have to buy the Oyster bracelet and put it on the GMT.
If Rolex will even allow you to do that. You can't exactly walk into an AD and be like, sell me an Oyster bracelet.
Schmeebay.
eBay. And actually, if you want an Oyster bracelet, you have to buy it on a precious metal GMT.
Well, all the viewers of this channel are obviously rich, so they'll just have to buy another watch that an Oyster comes on and swap it.
Yeah, well, I just think, it was cool that they came out with the Pepsi on a Jubilee last year. I just think, what is Rolex thinking? They're going to kill... I mean, not that they really need the sales, but they just literally destroyed one of their hottest selling watches. Because the Oyster is always more popular than the Jubilee. And I'm convinced it's going to come back next year. But I'm convinced the Oyster is going to come back next year. But what do you think of this move?
I mean, it makes sense in the lineage of the GMT Master history, right? I mean, they came traditionally on Jubilees, but maybe Rolex just had a bunch of Jubilees laying around they wanted to start throwing on watches.
I just think Rolex got bored didn't design anything new, and they're like, screw it, we got to come up with something new. How about we just discontinue our like third most popular watch and the most popular bracelet and force people to buy it this way? They had to announce something.
I mean, Rolex collectors have been spoiled the last few years anyway.
Fair enough. And then the last one, two-tone Sea Dweller? Really? Really?
I have no comments.
Really? Two-tone Sea Dweller. You're going to take the professional watch in your lineup, the one straight tool watch left, and you're going to slap gold on it.
Someone's going to say, oh, I want to go jump in the ocean and, like be like Jacques Cousteau and all that nonsense and get really deep in the water, and I want to have some gold on my watch. So, like, people can see me down there.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I don't know. Rolex, you should have stayed home. Most disappointing Rolex Baselworld to date for me in recent memory. But now let's move on to Tudor. Tudor, in my humble opinion, also not the best show, but certainly interesting show. Okay?
Disappointing for Tudor, fans. Absolutely.
I mean, why don't we start with, in my opinion, my favorite release. I think you like it too.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the two-tone Black Bay chronograph. They're using Breitling's B01 movement that's modified for Tudor.
In-house.
Yeah, in-house. Well, it's
a Breitling movement.
It is in-house. It's not in-house to Tudor. But now they made a two-tone, and with the panda kind of dial, I think it's a really handsome watch.
I would agree. It really continues along with the consistency of what they're doing with the rest of the models for like that vintage spirit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they did steal it from Artisans de Genève, like the whole style, but they stole it from Rolex anyway.
Nailed it.
The bun strap, people are gonna throw that away. Like when the people trade that watch in, it's gonna come untouched. That's the kind of watch.
The strap's gonna come untouched, yeah. And what do you think of the retail price? Because you're the one who told me. You're like, Fed, $5,600.
When I saw the leak, I kind of wanted it. Not a big Tudor collector, but I kind of wanted it because it looks like the Artisans de Genève for like a 30th of the price, assuming the price. But then I saw the price being like $5,600 US, I think, on a strap, and that is insane for a Breitling.
And it's not even solid gold; it's gold capped.
It's gold capped.
Tudor
gold capped.
Tudor gold is gold capped.
Just throw that in the ocean with that Sea Dweller and let them sing.
God, I actually quite like it.
Would you buy one?
Not for $5,600. I won't.
30 points off.
Nope. 50 points off, sure.
50 points off.
I mean, it'll happen eventually. Pre-owned. Someone's gonna call Delray Watch wanting to sell it, and I might wear it for a couple weeks.
We'll have to tell. We'll have to see
when
figure
the time comes. But now let's talk about the watch that you also leaked, and everybody said you were crazy.
Yeah.
And everybody said Rolex Passion Report was crazy. It's so ugly, I don't even know the name of the watch. It's like the Tudor Prototype 1 or something. It's a remake of like a Rolex military. Like, it's hideous. I mean, it is like Mule Glasuta took a dose of LSD and got slapped in the face by the ugly stick.
And then Seiko came over and did some things to the remaining body.
Yeah, like Seiko roofied this watch, had a baby, and this is what came out.
Here's the thing. It's actually an exciting piece of watch history, but I think the watch is absolutely just garbage, for a lack of a better term.
Because design, right? I mean, we haven't touched it.
Well, no. I mean, so the thing is, this model was, like, rumored between collectors to be real, and then there was, Rolex had made a statement a long time ago saying, like, we don't have any evidence of this watch ever existing, because there was a prototype made for Tudor and Rolex by them for the Marines, or like the Navy or something like that. And then they said, we have no evidence. And this was a long time ago. This was like 30 years ago.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden they come out with the actual prototype out of the vault. And they're like, actually, we have this prototype and we made the watch. But, like, I think they're lying. And they never had the prototype. And they made the prototype and the watch. And everyone's like, ooh. Like,
well, here's the thing. I would never wear it. I think it's just hideous. But I think it would have been cool if, like, Tudor made it. And made it a limited edition, like only 100 made or only 1,000 made. So the crazy Tudor collectors, I'm sure there are a few out there watching, would buy it and they would love it. And it's this quirky, weird watch. But no, it's like a regular production, super niche, super hideous watch.
What do you think is going to happen with that watch? Will ADs be forced to purchase this?
Of
and
course
stock
they
it?
will. Of course they're going to be forced to purchase it and stock it. And you know what? I think in the beginning it's actually going to sell well because it's weird. But in 2 years, this is going to sell as well as a Tudor Advisor. And a lot of you guys were like, what's a Tudor Advisor? Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I advise them to throw this away and say this is actually not a watch. This was a troll, and we're coming out with the Submariner that everybody wanted.
Yeah, Tudor sub. But yeah, guys, that's just our opinion on this year's Baselworld. Just Rolex and Tudor. I'm going to make another video.
Oh, okay.
Patek, Zenith, Nomos, kind of cool.
Nomos.
Grand Seiko.
Grand Seiko.
Couple cool watches this year, too. But Rolex and Tudor, what everybody was waiting for, I don't know. I could be wrong. Guys, this is just my opinion, but what an utter disappointment. All right? I mean, what do you think? Disappointing or are you like something?
I don't really care, to be honest with you. I think Rolex doesn't need to do anything. Tudor doesn't need to do anything. Like, they're selling watches. Why would they fix something that's not broken?
To innovate. You gotta flex your muscles every so often.
I think people forget that they're still a business. Like, I definitely appreciate artistry and the whole thing behind that, but they're still businesses, Like, Mercedes has an S-Class forever. Like, they're not gonna, add a fifth wheel.
Yeah, but they redesign it.
Do they?
I
don't know. I'm not a car guy.
I'm not a big fan, but that's just me. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments section below. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Really does help. And don't forget to subscribe to me.
Subscribe to him.
And John P. Link in the description below. Thank you so much, guys, and take care.